I'm playing around with stuff. I'll put like a little background music in there. You hear that?
Oh gosh, here we go. We're not these type of people.
I'm these type of people. I just realized I got a green screen and I'm wearing a green shirt, so it's like I'm just gonna disappear like randomly, like. Ugh.
In TV, they tell you not to wear green. Like that's the one job you can't do. Like can't wear like a green shirt or a mint shirt.
Yeah, no kidding. Adam, what's up? Happy 2024. We're here on the Sports Wheelhouse.
2-4 like Kobe.
2-4 like Kobe. Yo, you ate that up. See what I did?
Yeah, you're hanging out with too many young kids.
I am. I'm hanging out with too many young folk. The weather here sucks. The weather outside is weather, and it's super wetter, and I'm pretty sure it's El Nino, and I don't know what's happening down there.
flooding, and more.
So flooding. It is flooding down there where you are too. Okay.
Yeah, it's like crazy flooding. Happy New Year to Kenneth.
Kenneth checking in. What's up, buddy? Happy New Year, sir. So we got a whole bunch of things happening. And it was weird because, JD and I, we were going to take like a minute or two and like, we'll come back to it. But then we're like, hey, we both have off. We might as well just jump right into it, So, right. Welcome to the Sports Wheelhouse.
Good to have you guys.
And we're going to start doing some things because my New Year's resolution for this show is to keep this show at a maximum of 1 hour.
It won't happen.
It won't happen. That's a resolution. It's meant to be broken.
It won't happen. It won't happen. No, it's meant to be achieved, but it's just
meant to be broken. But we're going to try. We're going to start off on the right foot. So we got some cool topics. Let's get it spinning and popping.
He said no. It will never happen.
Nope.
Draymond, this weirdo.
All right. So, Draymond is back. For those of you who have been living in a hole over the last couple of months, Draymond is cuckoo bananas crazy.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
He is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. He is bananas nutter butter. He is sucker punching people. And the NBA finally said, you know what? Enough is enough. You are suspended indefinitely.
Except it wasn't indefinite.
Well, apparently indefinitely had a definition. And he is, after 12 games, back. And in an interview, because even Steve Kerr was like, no, absolutely not. But he comes back to practice. He gets a round of applause.
From who?
From Brandon Podziemski and the whole team.
Why the hell is Podziemski important?
Because he's the one who started the round of applause. And in the news conference, he said, I've cost my team enough. I've cost this organization enough. He is going to cut the antics. So he spent 3.5 weeks in counseling. And
so we need him to go to therapy to know that he was being a dummy?
According to Green, who's Green? Draymond, sorry. According to Draymond, it's very easy to open myself up to therapy from a personal standpoint because I needed to gather myself, to recenter myself, and to recalibrate. It's hard to see things when you're in it. It's hard to see what's necessary to see. He didn't touch a basketball for the first 10 days. He needed a break, blah, 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 saying all the right things, self-reflections, better space. He choked out Rudy Gobert. I'm reading off of the ESPN article. Steve Kerr is open-minded, probably because they're not doing great.
He's not going to help.
During his 13 games away, the Warriors have struggled. They're in 12th place in the Western Conference with a 17-19 record. So let me ask a couple of questions here to lead you, as Kenneth is saying, hey, that's not going to work. So question number one, is the state of the Warriors more important than the state of Draymond Green's mental health? Basically, should he be back?
No, the Warriors the Warriors are going to stink regardless. The Warriors have had their time. You see this at every end of every dynasty. They didn't get a young enough players, and a young player that would have been able to handle the mantle, they got rid of him because of Draymond. So basically, they stuck with him. They stuck with the
They stuck with the ones that brought them.
Yeah, because what happened is normally there's a change in so normally this year would have been instead of Clay being the next second guy, it would have been Jordan Poole. But because Jordan Poole had to be removed
Because of Draymond.
Yes, and creating that whole circus. Now that organization has went downhill with no young talent to speak of, or no young talent to take the mantle from Steph and Clay. So now you're gonna have this lull because they're not good enough to get a good draft. I mean, they're not bad enough to get a good draft pick, but they're not good enough to win anything. So you just start that, what is it called? Purgatory that we call being
a 76er or being a Philadelphia fan?
Or being a Steeler and making the playoffs, but not being.
Stop it! They're on the wheel. You hold off on that. You hold off on that, sir. Yeah, I mean, look. We talked about this a little bit last week, where we felt like his Hall of Fame candidacy is now donezo. Right. We feel like he really can't be put into the Hall of Fame. That's a different conversation. I don't know. We're obviously going to see, and the first thing that he does wrong, that's going to be it for him. But I truly don't know if it's safe to have him out there.
I don't think you should. I mean, he's not good enough at anything where he's like a guy that you would need. Like, if anything, if I'm the Warriors, I'm trading him and seeing what type of value I can get.
Who's taking him?
I don't know. Somebody worse than the Warriors?
I mean, the only person that might take him is HBO for fight nights.
I mean, you got UFC. I mean,
is celebrity deathmatch still a thing?
To be completely honest with you, the fact that the NBA let him come back makes me lose a lot of respect for the NBA.
But that's what I'm saying. So obviously they want the Warriors to still be a hot team, and they're sitting there in 12th. They've got a losing record. So obviously it's more important to them that Golden State looks like they need to look. Adam's coming in with some fire comments saying, if he can be cured in 3 weeks, the therapist needs a reward. And also the Untold documentary on Draymond is going to be great one day.
You can do it now. Shit,
you could do it now, probably without a fight. See what I did there?
Oh, that's really rough.
It was. I mean, I don't know. Look, I think the NBA game has changed so much that, like, had he been around when, your Rasheed Wallaces and your Latrell Sprewells and your Ron Artests and, of course, your Dennis Rodmans were around, I think that his stuff would look pretty mild compared to some of those things. But this is a very different NBA. This is a NBA where centers are not physical in the paint anymore. This is an NBA where you're shooting from the logo and you're expected to have a high percentage. This is not a game where a bruiser DeAndre Jordan's still in the league. Why? Because he can get you 20 rebounds on a given night.
And he's big as crap.
He's big as crap, and he's just a brick wall.
What's this other comment down here saying from Kenneth? I can't see.
Saying they are stuck with him. And I agree. Kenneth, I totally agree. They are completely and 100% stuck with him.
You just made a bet and now you have to lay in it because he's done so much. He has no other value to any other team. And so you just, other than maybe Detroit takes him. Maybe Detroit and they try to start back the Bad Boy Pistons. I don't know.
But why would they do that? I mean, it's not a culture change to the organization. It's a culture change to the entire NBA as it stands today.
Yes, that's very true. I mean, it's true, but at the same time, who's going to say it?
I mean, we are on our little show here.
I mean, nobody listens to us. Well, not the big wigs.
They should. We are fantastic. I think that when Slam Ball makes a comeback, Draymond should petition to be, a team captain of that.
He'll probably be a commissioner.
He should be the commissioner. But today's NBA, I just don't think that he has a place. And I think that the NBA did themselves a disservice by bringing him back so quick.
I mean, I'm not on the NBA since they did that mid-season tournament.
That was the dumbest thing on the planet.
And then they got people are hanging banners because of it.
Not people. Hold on. The Los Angeles Lakers.
The last two championships they got aren't real. They aren't real
The
champions.
last 2 championships that the Los Angeles Lakers got, they got it for a mid-season tournament and the bubble. Asterisk all around. Yo, David Stern was that guy.
I like David Stern. And this is another thing I want to throw out. If Draymond was doing this junk right around the same time that like Dennis Rodman and Charles Oakley and the
I
New
forgot
York
about
Knicks
Charles
were,
Oakley. Yeah, it's a great one.
like all of those guys, Anthony Mason, like if he was doing around all that stuff back then, like he would have not only got beat up, but he wouldn't have been doing all this crap because they would have been like, yo, you're not really hard like that. Let us show you what hard is.
Right, and I think that's a good point because you look at the teams, you look at the bruisers overall at that time, and you had enforcers on your team for a reason, and Draymond doesn't stack up to any of them. His are cheap shots.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, you're not looking. Let me hit you in your throat.
Yeah, let me choke out Rudy Gobert.
Yeah,
like come on. And like I think about David Stern, and David Stern was such a good commissioner. Didn't quite understand the game in general. My favorite was the players had to wear suits and ties at press conferences. They couldn't wear their own fashion stuff. Like talk about just missing the point entirely.
I mean, to be completely honest, I feel like Draymond's got too much of our show already.
Oh, I agree. We've been talking about it for 12 minutes.
Like, let's give Draymond a rest. Draymond's trash.
He would get beat down. I agree.
Yes,
all right. Good point.
Draymond Green's trash.
Draymond Green's trash. He shouldn't be in the NBA. Let's keep going.
Man, this is never wanted to hide more in the sand. They don't know what 5-game losing streak.
We have lost 5 of the last 6 games. The Philadelphia Eagles are a mess right now. And if you listen, so yeah, and Kenneth, I know you're appreciating this so much because, as you commented earlier, and this is only going to go up for a second. No, do not go. Literally, I almost lost power putting that up there. That's the sign of it. The Philadelphia Eagles right now are an absolute dumpster fire, and there are, in my opinion, quite a few reasons why they are a dumpster fire. But the biggest thing is they got a little too big for their britches. They didn't replace coordinators with actual coordinators. They didn't replace players with actual they decimated the linebacking core and said, okay, that's it. They decimated the safety position and said, okay, that's it. And they didn't improve enough this year. We are starting the playoffs this week, and we have not played one complete full game where I went from beginning to end and went, wow, this is a team that is going to do something. It is actually surprising to me that they are the favorites in this first week of the playoffs. We'll talk about playoffs a little bit more. Playoffs. Yeah, but
playoffs.
Kenneth, we absolutely need to get rid of our defensive coordinators, both Sean Desai and Matt Patricia. Neither one of them is worth a single bit of crap.
Matt Patricia wasn't good when he was a head coach.
No, that's why Darius Slade didn't want to bring him over. I feel like Darius Slade is sitting on injured reserve going, I told you. I don't.
This your man's? This your man's?
Come get your man's. I feel like our offensive coordinator, Brian Johnson wasn't ready. And I think, you look at what we're going to promote from within. Why? Because he worked with Jalen Hurts. Amazing. But you know what? Jalen Hurts still has not had a consistent offensive coordinator. And Jalen Hurts' regression this season is real. And I think some of it is his fault for sure. But I think an overwhelming amount of it is the play calling is horrific. We talked about how last week they decided to do 2 QB runs and then a bubble screen, which got Devontae Smith hurt. For them to put up the effort that they did against the Giants was an absolute embarrassment. Absolute embarrassment. And I don't know how they beat any team right now without cleaning some stuff up. So yes, they have to fire their coordinators. Yes, they have to get rid of some players. They got to get rid of some dead weight. And they actually need to go out and get the best players for some of it is definitely the players, but too much of it is the coaching. And there's a lot of people in Philadelphia right now that are saying, hey, Nick Sirianni should get the axe. Nick Sirianni's not getting fired.
No,
Nick Sirianni's not getting fired.
Super Bowl weirdos.
He had an epic collapse, 100%. But he has been the coach for 3 seasons. He has gotten them to the playoffs all 3 seasons. He has a Super Bowl appearance. They need to fire the coordinators. And is he on the hot seat next year if we get blown out in Tampa Bay? Absolutely.
You won't get blown out in Tampa Bay.
But what I'm saying, I didn't think we were going to get blown out by the Giants and Tyrod
Are you guys in Tampa Bay?
We are in Tampa Bay.
Well, at least it's warm.
Yeah. We got beat down by the Cardinals. We got beat down by the 49ers. We got beat down by the Cowboys. There are some really ugly, ugly losses. And like I said, there have been 18 weeks and not one complete game. So, no, he is not getting fired this offseason, but he will be on the hot seat if he puts out an absolute dud in the playoffs.
We got E. Burnside checking in. What's going on?
Yeah.
We got
Kenneth agreeing with me saying, like, look, this is something rough. So, wait, all right. So, obviously, you're the obvious outsider when it comes to the Eagles. Talk to me. What are your thoughts on the Eagles?
From outside looking in, I am a Steelers fan, so both my teams made it to the playoffs.
We're going to talk about Steelers. They're on the wheel.
Sorry. I said Steelers. So
the Steelers are on the wheel.
So, obviously, they've hit like a little bit of a wall here. There's a couple things that I would like to note. One being Jalen Hurts has not been healthy all season. Like he has been banged up. They never rested him. They never took him out. If you're going to lose 4 or 5 games anyway, you should have took him out and just conserved him and got him healthy. Same thing with AJ Brown. AJ Brown is a complainer now that I've seen him in action. If he doesn't get the ball, he's complaining, he's whining, he's bitching and moaning at the coaches. He is almost a team cancer, and it makes a lot of sense now that he's left Tennessee that it might have been him. Some of it might have been him. Like he's a crybaby. He's a huge crybaby. And
is he a crybaby, or is he that number 1 wide receiver diva that we expect?
No,
T.O. was a crybaby.
I mean, that doesn't make me feel better about it. Like just because T.O. did it,
but he was elite.
Listen, all I'm saying is you got Devontae Smith blocking for dudes, and he only is as big as an expensive paperweight.
And that's play calling, though. Why is he blocking for dudes?
Well, you can't not have him block. He's a receiver, so he's got to block. But at the same time, like you have him out there, and you're not taking the top off anybody's defense.
No.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, so there's like all these guys.
There's no hot routes. There's no creative route running. It's awful.
And even on the option routes, if you watch it, Jalen and AJ Brown are not on the same page. He thinks they're running a streak. They're really running a post. So I mean, there's some of that. That's like you said, the locker room is starting to crack. You're starting to see some of the when you're winning, it covers up a lot of deficiencies. But when you start losing, those deficiencies become obvious because you start to show your frustration or your discomfort in that situation. So I do believe after the 5-game kind of skid, if they're able to somehow, some way win in Tampa Bay, then I don't think they go much farther than that, just because the level of competition will go up tremendously. From first round to second round. So I do have them as a second round exit. Barring, Jalen Hurts wakes up with like a new hand and he's not injured and AJ Brown returns and Devontae Smith's healthy. I just don't see it on the back of the on Swift's back, because that's who they're gonna have to depend on for a lot of offense. And a 59-year-old 59-year-old Julio Jones.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that kills me is like DeAndre Swift has been good all season. So what do they do? As soon as he starts to gain any kind of yardage, as soon as he starts to get some kind of carries, they're like, oh, whoa.
Can he gain well? Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to watch.
It is hard to watch, and the way that we're losing to these atrocious teams. I mean, it is bad. Hurts has to be more vocal. Yeah, I agree, but I think him growing up as a coach's kid, there's that level of I'm going to respect what the coaches say and not speak up about it. But yeah, like it's not even our locker room either, Kenneth. It's Javon Hargrave from the 49ers has played on the 49ers this year, and he played on the Eagles last year. And he's coming out and said, yeah, we actually practice in San Francisco. Like, it's a really hard practice. What happens in Philly, it's more chill. That kind of stuff gets out. That kind of stuff gets out, and you start to deal with a
But you
lot of
kind of have
negativity.
to. But you, in their case, in the Eagles' case, they have to, because those guys on offense and defensive line are veterans. Like, they're not
Agreed.
practicing 3 and 4 days a week. They might get one hard practice in a week. Javon Hargraves can kiss my butt. And he wasn't talking until he got traded. So let's just be honest. And the last thing is, when you got a veteran team like that, practices are different.
Agreed.
Like,
and they should
because young guys are trying to prove themselves. That's what San Francisco is a lot younger. Their 2 defensive ends are maybe 27 years old. Like, look at the defensive ends on Philly. They're old. Like, those dudes are old dudes.
Matt checking in. What's going on, buddy? Yeah, I mean, I agree.
But I wouldn't. Would I sell the Eagles stock right now? I'd say give them one more game. See what type of product they put out against Tampa Bay. If they can somehow etch out a win, no matter, this is the playoffs, so a win is a win.
But that's, JD, that's my issue with this entire season. There has not been 1 week where it hasn't been, and again, they won 11 games, but there's not been one of those 11 weeks where I was like, that was dominant. And you look at every other playoff team, they've all had one.
Except for the
Steelers. That's what I was going to say. Except for the Steelers. They all have at least one. The Eagles do not. The Eagles have not had a dominant win, and they absolutely should.
Listen.
And that's so, Matt, that's the other thing I was going to say, is that there's some people who are going, oh, they were just playing possum and squeak through the regular season. They're about to turn on. That's a hell of a switch.
Listen, if it is, let's just humor this for a minute. Let's say that it is. You're in the best position for people to underestimate you.
Oh, yeah.
You are. Like, everybody's down on the Eagles. They lost 5 games in a row. You're going to go through Tampa Bay, and then you got to go where? San Francisco?
So San Fran's the one No, we'll go to probably Dallas.
I'd much rather play Dallas than San Francisco.
Right, because I'm assuming that Dallas is going to win. I'm assuming the Lions are going to win.
So I'd much rather go to Dallas.
No, we would go to San Francisco, right?
I'm asking you.
We'd be the lower seed, so yeah.
Okay, then you go to San Francisco. You've already beat San Francisco, right? Or did you? No, you lost to San Francisco.
We got smoked.
So you lost to San Fran, but there's a caveat to that. You did lose to San Fran, but San Fran's going to believe that they're mentally done. Yeah. You know, they're going to be done.
I think that this is important, right? It feels like the tough schedule drain, and they're just mentally shut off, knowing that they make the playoffs. Hard to turn that switch back on. That's what I'm saying. It is a hard switch to just flip in a week. And here's the thing. It's been the last 6 weeks, right? So if they knew what was wrong, they would have fixed it by now.
Not necessarily.
I truly don't think that the coaching staff and the players have a pulse on this team to understand what's wrong with this team.
Chip, I gotta beg to differ, man. Like, you got a lot of vets in that room. Like, even if the coaches are lacking, the veteran players know what's wrong. Like, they know either we're tired and old and we can't go and we're conserving energy to the end, which that could be very easily happening. If there's guys pulling up on plays, I've had a couple people send me some stuff. Guys pulling up on plays like Cox and stuff. They're pulling up on plays because they're not wanting to get hurt. They know this is a long season. Kelsey hasn't been playing his best ball either, making a lot of mental mistakes. All sides a lot. Like, he's had a lot of false starts just because of his like attention to detail, and that just could be he's in what, season 13 or something. Mm-hmm. Like, it's they're conserving energy, so that could be part of it, and they want to just make a push at the end, or they just like the underdog moniker. They want to be the underdog, and the only way they can get there is they got to start losing. I don't know what the thing is. I don't know what it is. I'm just telling you,
JD. That's my thing, is that we don't know, and they don't. I truly feel that they do not know how to fix this.
I think they do, though.
Then they are a hell of a set of actors.
I mean, think about it. The last game they played the Giants, there was nothing in it for them to win. They were gonna, no matter if they won or lost, they were not winning the division. They should have just sat them.
But Kenneth, they had a locker room meeting. They actually went to an escape room. Yeah, they had a whole outing.
They're fine, dude. I'm telling you. Hey, listen, I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I'll tell you they get by Tampa Bay. No, and then everybody be back on the train.
We're going to do predictions, don't you worry, but I'm definitely, I am concerned.
Everybody be back on the train by next Sunday. I mean, because they play Monday. So they'll be back on the train about this time next week.
Okay.
W's turns into M's.
So, JD, here's my question. Is Michigan an authentic national champion?
Yeah. They are. They've been through a gauntlet. They play in a tough enough conference. They've had some tough games. They played Alabama, so they had to beat Alabama. They had to beat the SEC team to get there. They're the real deal. Or did they beat Texas? Hold on. They beat
Texas.
Either way, they beat Texas. Texas is a big boy team. They ain't just beat Washington. That was the end of it. Washington shouldn't have been there, but definitely.
I'm sorry. They beat Alabama in the Rose Bowl. That's right.
Yeah, they beat Alabama first.
They beat Ohio State. They beat Penn State. They beat Washington. They beat Bama. They beat. That was about it.
You lined them up. They knocked them down. What do you want?
So, but I have two questions that I want to push back with you a little bit here.
What?
Question number one. After watching what Georgia did, and I know Georgia lost one game.
Georgia should have been in, and Washington should have been sitting at home with me.
Undefeated Washington should have been sitting home.
Washington,
even though Washington went ahead and beat Texas.
I don't care about that. I don't care about that because Washington was never going to win national championship. I never believed in my heart like, oh, Washington's going to win that championship. That never went into my mind. I never thought that. No matter what the spread was, I never was like, okay, Washington's going to win their first national championship. No, they're not because they're a Pac-12 team, and eventually a good team is going to beat them. They are not like that. Name the last Pac-12 team that won a national championship. I can tell you.
I feel like it was USC.
Oh, it was USC. Oh my God. Yes, it was USC.
I mean, I feel like it was USC.
The last time they went and actually did something, they had Marcus Mariota. And that was in Oregon.
Right. And I think that's the big thing, right? Georgia should have been. And now I think that, moving forward, that next year it'll be a little bit better, with the moving to the 12. But here's the thing, right? Florida State, they didn't even try in their game.
Well, everybody was out. Like if you tell me I'm not going
to, but that's my thing, right? Because what do they have to win?
Right, but these teams, but we're talking about Washington. We're talking about Michigan. We're talking about the teams who had something to win, so they had everybody.
Correct.
Now if you got me playing for a bucket,
the Pop-Tart Bowl,
a bucket of chum, like I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna risk injury, especially with the draft right around the corner. Now, like the people say, well, Georgia didn't do that. Well, Georgia didn't do that.
Georgia had something to prove too.
Not only that, but Georgia they got dudes. Like they got dudes that are proving themselves, like young guys that are trying to get themselves set up for next year, and they want their name to be known. So they're gonna show up to the bowl game with something to prove. Florida State, they were just bad like a year before. Like who cares?
And
if they lose?
They were honestly, I think that they took their ball and went home. They were a little pissed off that they didn't get invited to a real game. Where I'll be honest, I still can't be convinced that they shouldn't have been. Now, obviously, they played like garbage, so that proves the case against it. But I think if you're undefeated, that has to mean something.
Yeah, and you left them out,
which is why I put Washington in.
But Washington was undefeated, just like Florida State.
But that's what I'm saying. It should have been Washington and Florida State, and Michigan, and Texas. But
Who had a better fan base?
But you're never going to have a situation where you leave out every SEC team.
Have you ever seen in the history of ever in the last 10 or 15 years where the SEC, the Southern team, does not come through and do something? With the exception of this year.
How long has it been since an SEC wasn't even in the national championship?
I don't know. It was like the first year. And on top of that, like we've already talked about this, football's just better. They take it more serious down. Now you got like your Michigans, Ohio States, but that's like a different. They're basically like Southern teams up north. Like they don't, because they have a long tradition and history of winning.
Right.
So like Notre Dame, I think they're another northern team, but they
Notre Dame needs to really join a conference at this point.
I don't think it will matter, honestly. We got some comments coming in.
Yeah, we got great comments coming in. Eric thought that Washington could have won. I think that Penix is be lucky to be walking off the field at this point because he got the crap kicked out of him last night and he was broken.
Listen,
he was broken.
He was broken before he got there. He's 27 years old with 2 kids and a 401k plan.
He
should have been out of college.
Sir, you stop.
He should have been out of college
to the next
4 years ago.
Face of a Washington Commanders franchise. Stop it, sir.
That's fine. But I'm telling you, remember what happened with Chris Winkie?
Yeah, he played a minute or two.
Yeah. What team did he play for? You remember?
No.
Pretty sure it was the Redskins and maybe the Carolina Panthers.
Definitely the Panthers.
But nobody knows him outside of him being a 45-year-old man winning the Heisman.
You stop.
Because he's playing with young kids.
But Penix should have won the Heisman this year, though.
Penix is 29 years old.
Oh, now he aged 2 years in the last 30 seconds?
He's got a wife and 2 kids. Like, that dude needs to be at somebody's job, not trying to throw around football with college kids.
All right, so let me change this real quick on you. You've got the combined spring football league now. Provided he doesn't get drafted, and I think Penix will get drafted somewhere. But provided he doesn't get drafted, should he go to the spring football league and put more things on tape?
I don't even know what the football league is.
XFL and the USFL are joining forces.
I'm not watching that crap.
I
didn't watch
Super League.
One of them. I didn't watch it when they were separate. I'm definitely not watching it together. Like, I'm not watching that crap.
But it's like The Rock and his ex-wife.
It's like, what are we doing?
They're like rabble commissioners.
Are they?
Yeah.
Who's his ex-wife?
I don't know. I'm just making stuff up.
Oh, okay. Like Lowe's and Home Depot?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're not watching it, though. I'll just go to Ace Hardware.
I was about to say, it's going to be sponsored by Ace Hardware, though.
We got some more of these comments coming in. What we got?
These comments are great, man. We appreciate it. Happy New Year. He's saying a lot of players on the 401.
Oh, 401k, yeah. I mean, yes, I get it. QB for Oregon, 28. I mean, these guys are old enough to have wives and kids and like real life goals and ambitions in life.
Should go. Why not? The man can play. Yeah, Penix can play. I saw something. That was kind of cool today. Because anytime you have a lefty quarterback, people freak out. So what they did is they flipped the screen and they did everything that he does right-handed. It was so weird to watch.
Listen, I just need you guys to understand that like Penix is going to be trash in the league because he's as old as all the rest of those dudes. Remember they said the same thing about Kenny Pickett? Yeah, him being older mattered. That hasn't mattered at all. 0%. Keep it going, homeboy.
Let's see if we can land on Mr. Pickett. What do you say?
Keep it going, home skillet. Oh yeah, give me some of that action.
Nope.
Oh, they cheated us. They cheated us.
I'm going to segue a different way. What team will Mr. Harbaugh be coaching next year?
Washington Commanders.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why? Why would he go
there? He won't
there?
be far from his brother. And that would be a cool story to put him in the same conference as his brother.
I don't know if the Commanders... So, the way I look at Harbaugh specifically is he is a national championship winning coach right now. So, why would he go to a team that needs a complete rebuild?
Because he won't have as much pressure to do it. Like, there's pressure on, like, if he goes to a team that's halfway good, he'll have pressure to win right away. Someone says the Chargers don't have anybody.
The Chargers have Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, and Austin Eckler. They've got that core three. They've also got a Bosa. They've got a pretty solid defense, all things considered. And most importantly, they already have special teams figured out with Dicker the kicker.
And that's cool, but like you want to give him
more time. Who does Washington have? Thank you.
Antonio Gibson?
Okay.
And I think they got a receiver too.
Are you building a franchise around Antonio Gibson?
No, but they're bad enough to where you could start getting some draft picks that you want. Some younger players, especially when you're coming out of college, you know all the younger players that are really studs. So you have that leg up where you can build because you have some picks because you are a sorry team in the NFL. Unlike the Steelers, who don't get any draft picks.
Oh my God, you're just speaking Steelers stuff.
Because we can't seem to lose when we should be losing.
We're going to talk about the Chargers, man. Relax yourself. All right, so I do feel that if Harbaugh goes to the pros, he will end up as the coach of the Chargers. If not, I think that Belichick is the next coach of the Chargers. Even though he has not been officially let go of the Patriots for whatever reason. I have no idea why.
The Patriots job comes open, then
Easy.
I can see Harbaugh going to the Patriots.
Nope. I'm going to correct you.
Who? Patricia?
Mike Vrabel will be the next coach of the Patriots.
Oh my God! Why?
Because he is Belichick's disciple, the same way that the Eagles brought in Peterson to try to ease that transition.
That's weak as heck.
I'm not denying that it's a bad idea. I'm just saying that I can easily, I almost want to predict that Mike Vrabel will be the next coach of.
Do you see Harbaugh at the Tennessee Titans?
No.
Ooh.
I don't.
He will be going Bama as a DC.
No, Bill Belichick's not going back to be a DC somewhere. He's got to have the reins or nothing.
He couldn't work with Nick Saban anyway, because Nick Saban is a little king.
Yeah, no, that's a whole lot of mental fortitude there. Yes, Nick, we are in the playoffs. I think that we're about to get knocked out of the playoffs. I agree, go Eagles, but it ain't gonna be pretty. I think Vrabel ends up the next coach of the Patriots once they eventually decide to fire him. Because, again, with a 3-win season and nothing to show for it, I don't know. How about the Falcons firing Arthur Smith at 12:01?
They needed to be a new day. A new day, a new dawn.
Yeah. I don't know who goes to that job. That is not an enticing job to me. I mean, obviously,
Atlanta's a good fan base, though. I would go there.
Good fan base, but again, same thing. And obviously, there's only 32 coaching jobs. So I mean, obviously, someone's gonna go there.
They got a young team. They got Kyle Pitts. They got their running back.
Mm-hmm. They've got 2 studs, but you've got a lot of quarterback questions there. You're almost gonna have to draft a quarterback because Desmond Ritter ain't it? No, you can't. Because think about, you actually played well this season and almost made the playoffs in a garbage NFC South.
Listen, you can go get a quarterback. You can trade Desmond Ritter. You can trade the assets. Go get one of these aging quarterbacks just to get you over the hump. That knows. Find you a Kirk Cousins. Find you a Kirk Cousins. That's on a bad deal. That's about to get off a deal. Go get him.
How about Ryan Tannehill as the next quarterback of the Falcons?
I can't stand Ryan Tannehill.
Because he ain't going to be in
Tennessee.
He's already said he called a play, and they're like, "Why'd you do that?" He goes, "Because I'm not going to be here anyway."
Fair enough.
Next coach of the Panthers. That's a tough one.
I've never cared about anything less in my life. But I will say, if I had to pick anybody, they might go back with Ron Rivera. Give him another shot at
Riverboat Ron and his under 500 career record.
Listen, that dude. Can we talk about someone who's not 500 ever?
No.
Who's never had a losing season?
Antonio Pierce.
Who doesn't know how to lose?
Antonio Pierce.
No, who cannot lose. And
we're going to talk about when it lands on it. Wait, should Antonio Pierce be the next coach of the Raiders?
Yes. I think he's done enough.
I completely and totally agree. You want to?
They messed up the last time by not doing it, so they got.
When they did not hire Biseglia, they messed up. 100% messed up because they went for the new sexy name instead of the guy who had gotten them almost on the cusp of the playoffs. I think 100% Antonio Pierce should be the next coach of the Raiders.
I can't see the comments now.
Yeah, Panthers need a new owner because he's pouring beer on people. I
got it. That's a cold. Oh, that's not cold. I'm down here. I'm down here in South Carolina, and that's all I hear is about how bad the Panthers are. The Panthers need to disband the franchise. They're not a good franchise. They're almost as bad as the team that Ron Rivera left, which was he leaves all these teams in a bad situation, and we need to start looking at him as the problem. That's all I'm saying.
So
Matt Rule, after that, it was terrible.
Matt Rule never should have been the coach of the team, but he should. And then Frank Reich got a really super short leash. That's what I want the Eagles to do. I want the Eagles to bring back Frank Reich as an offensive coordinator, so who can then step in when Sirianni does get fired.
He's not going to get fired, dude. He just went to the championship. He's not getting fired.
I said when next season because he doesn't listen to Frank Reich.
He will not listen to Frank Reich because
he will definitely not listen to Frank Reich. He doesn't want to listen to anybody.
And I don't think he's going to listen to anyone because he is the man and he's went to the Super Bowl. And y'all better get off of him.
I'm trying to think what other coaching opportunities are there.
I just named most of them. The other ones, nothing's really like sticking out to me. Like it was a job that I want to take. Like, I mean, if you want to be in the warm weather, you might be take. I don't know. No, let's just get rid of it. Let's exit this one.
You're done with the coaching carousel?
Yeah.
Man, you just want to talk. I know what you want to talk about. Let's see if I can land on it for you.
I don't even want to talk about that. I mean, I don't mind talking about it, but I don't. But only because I want to down them.
All right, new segment. I have a couple. So, you and I are both married fellows, and there was a skit many years ago by a gentleman named Dane Cook.
I know Dane Cook.
Called "Would You Rather," and then he went on and he goes, "You ever been in a relationship and and would you rather?" And then they give you two choices that are just absolutely atrocious and terrible.
Yeah,
so I would like to bring that to our show tonight.
God, I'm very scared.
Would you rather have Jameis Winston as your backup quarterback or Ryan Tannehill as your backup quarterback? Mind you, both of them decided to call their own plays this past weekend.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to take Jameis because Jameis has passed. He's been the league leader in pass yards before.
And interceptions in the same year.
Yeah, but I don't remember Tannehill doing anything other than doing this. Scoring a touchdown and flipping the ball out. Give me Jameis Winston.
Okay. New quote came out by Paul George saying, Joel Embiid is this generation of basketball players, Shaquille O'Neal. Would you rather build a franchise around Shaquille O'Neal or Joel Embiid?
In this day and age. Joel Embiid. Shaq couldn't survive in this day and age. Especially when they done stuff like Hack-a-Shaq, like Hack-a-Ben. Like he would get that done more often because there's no rules around it. And then on top of it, he can't shoot an outside jump shot and he can't really put the ball on the ground. So like in this day and age, the center isn't really a senior. He has to be versatile. And I don't think Shaq is versatile enough to play in today's league. I mean, he will bully people, but they shoot a lot more threes than they get. And like twos count for more. I mean, twos don't count as much as threes. So he would have a hard time in this league.
Yeah, I think, and again, in the flip side of that argument, if you look at putting Joel Embiid in the Shaq era, he'd be done in a year.
Because he's not as well. You had Hakeem Olajuwon, so maybe Joel.
But Hakeem played in a different generation than Shaq.
I don't know.
Like Hakeem's career was ending as Shaq was continuing.
Right, but you got to think about during that time though. You still had the bad boy Pistons, like we talked about before. Like you still had to deal with this. So he still had physicality. He still had to deal with David Robinson down in San Antonio. So he had some size. And then you had to deal with Sabonis and Rasheed Wallace in Portland. So I mean, they had some size. Like it wasn't like he just played in the league where he was the biggest guy. Like
true.
So I think Hakeem is a very good comparison to Joel Embiid, and in his time frame.
Would you rather? Now, I know you've been playing hoops for a minute or two. On those outdoor courts.
Oh, yeah.
Would you rather play on those nets with the metal double rims?
Yeah, double rims.
Or a rim with no net?
Dang.
This one's mean. This one's mean.
Is it a double rim with no net?
No.
Oh, as long as it's not a double rim with no net, I'm good. Like you can't have a double rim and no net. Or you can't have a double rim and chain net.
Oh, like the chain nets are the worst.
Dude, I used to get like hands would just get destroyed. Like
yeah, me too, because of all the dunking I did.
Yeah, you get like the nasty calluses from like dunking on the rim.
Mm-hmm,
or if you like mess around and try to go up and block a shot, your hands go through the net. Like it's just like it's not good. So yeah, I would say the I'd rather have the no net because I don't have to worry about get my hand stuck in the net.
Yeah, but you got to worry about those complainers then who go that didn't go through.
Nah, but I mean you don't know. Like I mean for the most part, like the only time you're really debating that is if your team sucks and you're trying and it's game point and you're going to be arguing anyway. I mean I'm not worried about complainers. I'll go to play with my homies, my real dudes.
All right.
I think they went through. All right, give it a point. Give it a point.
Eric's saying double rim.
I don't know the double rim, man. That double rim was because I mean, even if you hit it soft, like that thing didn't want no balls to go in it. You had to hit it all net, and it had to be like perfect trajectory. If it hit any rim whatsoever, even if it grazed the back, it's popping out. Like it's going out.
Whoever came up with those is just like a complete masochist.
And you know, remember they were always in bad neighborhoods, so they don't want you like tearing the rim.
That and the chains. Yep.
Then the chains. So it's like, if you get up here, you're gonna do it your own risk. You're gonna get hurt. So I don't ever want to see a double rim again. And it didn't teach me how to shoot very well because I started shooting. Everything had a very high arc. I was always trying to get bottoms instead of using my touch and trying to be soft off the rim. So yeah, I think double rims have been destroying basketball for years.
Would you rather go to the Super Bowl or whatever games of a Final Four that you wanted?
Damn, that's tough. Dang, man, that's a tough one. Is it my team in the Super Bowl?
No.
Nah, then I'm going to Final Four because I got a chance to see one of my teams that I like in the Final Four, and I get to choose. Final Four be lit too, and it's like 4 games. I only get to see 1 game in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Final Four be lit though, especially you that Villanova and Carolina played.
Yo. Yeah. Eric be saying, yes, sir. Down at Lakeside Park, we all went in. He's still on this double rim situation.
Listen, they used to have one in Needmore Center, like before. Like this, there's some research for you, E. Burnside. Go to Needmore Center now is like a really nice court. I went there the other day. It's really, really nice. I would actually play there if I didn't have bad knees. And like the rims are like Goliath rims now. Like they're like big boy rims. Like before they were like these double rims. Somebody normally painted a handprint. Like somebody put paint on their hand and slapped the backboard. It was a metal backboard. It was all metal up there, bro. It was like jailhouse ball.
You got them
and they used to play like it. And it had that metal pole that like was just it wasn't like a 45-degree angle. It was literally just a pole that was bent at the like curved at the top.
All right. My last would you rather. $1 million on the line. Would you rather attempt a 25-yard field goal or a half-court shot?
Half-court shot.
Three-quarter shot.
Three-quarter shot. I don't care. It's basketball. I don't give a crap.
I saw Dallas remove the basketball because I knew you were going to do that. Would you rather kick the 25-yard field goal for $1 million or try to hit a home run?
Try to hit a home run. You crazy, bro. I used to play baseball. I got that. Barry Bonds thing. I'm going to put a little bit of metal at the end of my bat. Give it a little send-off.
All right,
and my 250 and my 240 something weight frame, I feel like I could send that ball like a lot harder than I could when I was a little kid.
All right, fine. Then we're gonna take the upper half totally out of it. Game-winning field goal or game-winning penalty kick? Soccer.
Penalty kick. Bro, I do not want to kick a field goal. Like nobody. I'm telling. I watch these kids do it on College Game Day. They always freaking miss. I don't want that action. I don't want that. Give me. Yes, I played soccer too. I'll take a soccer kick. Yes, sir. I played soccer for like 5 years.
Any would you rather's for me?
Oh yeah, I got one for you.
Oh, okay.
Would you rather call a little kid's championship game for baseball or call a little league championship in basketball with parents that both think their kids deserve to be on the next level?
I mean, for me, it'd be baseball. That's easy because I've done it. And while I think I'd be a really good basketball official, I don't have that experience yet. So that one's an easy one for me. I would easily go baseball because that's what I know I'm good at. And I've already done it. And it's a lot of fun and it's a lot of pressure and it's awesome.
I'm about to switch it up on you.
Oh, okay. You're taking baseball away from me, aren't you?
Oh, I'm keeping baseball.
Wow.
But I'm giving you softball now.
No.
Hold on. I'm tell you the rules of softball. Softball is a beginner's league.
Mm-hmm.
The parents do not believe that their kids are going to go to the next level, and they're just happy that little Johnny's getting a shot and his coach's pitch. little Cynthia's getting a chance. So you can do a little teaching. This I know it's gonna warm your heart. That was gonna warm your heart. The little softball.
So here's the thing: so it's baseball or softball is my choice.
Softball is you get to teach a little bit. Baseball, these people think their kids are the next Cal Ripken Jr.
Well, and with baseball, I mean, I like the pressure of it being a big game. Softball, you're talking easy money if it's coach pitch because all you're doing is calling outs at first base.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably still take baseball. I like the challenge.
Whoa, that's.
I do. Doing as many games as I did this past year, I found a love for it.
Okay.
So, like, give me that high pressure situation.
Last one. State championship game.
Baseball?
Yeah, baseball. Of the highest classification in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
So it's big boy baseball. Or Little League World Series on national TV. Biggest game of the year for the highest Little League World Series.
So this is easy.
Okay, go ahead.
It's the high school game.
Why is that?
Because when you talk Little League World Series, there's a different rule set. It's a different rule set and it requires, like, besides knowing the rules of baseball, there's an entirely different set of rules. Because I actually did a Little League baseball game, Little League play-in regional game. And I had no preparation, and there was a rules person there, and there was a whole nightmare. I feel like we talked about this on the show where the guy blew the call. Yeah, where the guy blew the call, and we had to talk to like Harrisburg and stuff like that. But I don't want to be put in that position again unless I'm prepared. I am a PIAA official. I would love to call that caliber of a game. So high school ball for that.
High school state championship, all the marbles.
Yeah. Now
they do a playoff system.
Yeah, it's a whole.
Is it confusing? Like, because ours down here is confusing. Like, if you win one, it's like a 2-game elimination. If the other team loses 2, then I don't know.
There's different regions and brackets, and then from there you have to go places, and then it's 1-game winner take all against teams you've never played before.
I'm not mad about that.
Yeah, like the school right by us, they got to the state semifinal this year, so I was able to follow a little bit closer.
Our girls went to the semifinals last year, I'm not mistaken. I think they went to districts. So, yeah.
All right, we got 2 topics left, and for the sake of the show, I'm going to go in the order that I want to go, and I'm not going to spin the wheel. So the one topic is your Steelers, and then the other topic is playoff predictions. So give me, JD, the state of the Steelers.
It's not very good, man. It's
How
not
can
very
you say
good.
that? You made the playoffs with Mason Rudolph as your quarterback.
Well, that's just it. I mean, think about what we had to do to get here. Like, we didn't have to really do anything. Like, we had other banged up teams we're playing against. All right, like AFC North, I thought was going to be a really, really good division this year. Turns out to be dog crap. And to be completely honest, it almost does us a disservice for going to the playoffs. And I've been saying that for years. Like, if we're going to be bad, then let's just be bad so we can get some young talent that is worth the dang. Like, I love that people can say Mike Tomlin ain't never had a losing season. That's great. Mm-hmm. But Mike Tomlin not having a losing season is not helping the freaking Steelers, because we're still in that football purgatory from Ben Roethlisberger that we're not getting out. We got a quarterback who cannot hold on to the ball, basically because of his small miniature hands. And
you got players turning on your franchise.
Yeah, there's dudes. We're in a state of emergency, if I'm being completely honest. Yes, we understand. We made the playoffs, but we don't know the playoff team.
And it's funny because that's how the last time the Eagles had to play the Bucs in the playoffs, Jalen Hurts' first year making the playoffs, Sirianni's first year. I felt the same way. Like, we made the playoffs only because they allowed 7 teams into the playoffs.
They take on Tom Brady, right?
Yeah, we took on Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Well, you're not playing Tom Brady this time, so
no. But again,
Baker May.
I think that the Steelers, there was a lot of parity in the AFC specifically this year, where it was a lot of teams kind of doing the same exact thing. And the Steelers lucked out and they got in. But I think they have so many questions. Like, they're not using Najee Harris well enough. They're not using their receivers well enough, you're going to be without TJ Watt for your playoff game. I mean, that's a crippling loss. And you're on your third or fourth string quarterback at this point. So I think that they need a rebuild. I think that they got there through the sheer force of there's 7 teams allowed in, and they were team number 7.
Facts.
All right. We got wild card weekend. We are going to make our wild card predictions. So I will tell you the game. You tell me who emerges. So, game number 1 in the biggest surprise game, Browns versus the Texans. I'm, by the way, very excited for both of these teams.
Browns or Texans?
Mm-hmm.
I would say, let's see. I would go Texans.
Mm-hmm.
I would go Texans because they have a young quarterback, and I would love to see him get his first playoff win his first year. And I think that would say a lot about him.
I'm going the Browns. I'm taking the Browns because I think once you get to, and Eric is saying the Texans, I think once you get to the playoffs, you do need that experience a little bit. And Joe Flacco does have experience when it comes to the playoffs. And the Browns have looked really good with Joe Flacco as quarterback. They've recommitted to the running game. They've recommitted to Njoku. Amari Cooper's been playing out of his mind. Their defense is pretty stud-like. And I think that they're going to get after a young CJ Stroud who, over the course of the season, has been losing his weapons to injury. I think you just have – I think that it's going to be a good game, but I think that the Browns will win.
Right. I still got to say, I think CJ Stroud is going to put people on notice, like, hey, I'm coming. And – I'm a young player, but like watch out for what I can do. Like I think he's gonna do some stuff.
In one of the best games that no one's gonna see because they have it on Peacock, and unless you have Peacock, you're not gonna watch it. Dolphins go to Arrowhead and face off against the Chiefs.
Dolphins.
Okay.
Dolphins.
Tell me why.
The freaking. The Chiefs aren't very good. Like they're not very good, man. And the Dolphins are very good, and they have a high-powered offense. They are the Chiefs of past years, and like I think this is only poetic that Tyreek Hill gets to come back to where it all started to bust their heads. And I don't think that Patrick Mahomes has the weapons, and I think it's gonna really show. He's got Pacheco, and Travis Kelce. But I don't care if Taylor Swift or Jesus Christ himself comes back to help him. They gonna need.
Kevin, I going to cancel for that comment, Joe Coy style.
I mean, I like Jesus, and Jesus is my guy, but I don't think he can help them because of. But I mean, and it would be an upset. It would be an upset because you know how much talent is on the Dolphins side. It would be, and they're gonna need something astronomical to happen to stop that offense, dude. Those dudes. I mean, their speed all over. Jalen Waller is finally healthy. Like, they have a plethora of dudes. Even Gesicki. Gesicki is a monster. So, I can't name 2 receivers from Kansas City right now. Nico Harman, is he still there?
I don't know. Gesicki's on the Patriots.
Oh, not Gesicki. He used to be with them. They got another.
With them, and that's where he did his business.
I know. No, they got another tight end that's pretty dope. It's not Gesicki. I just messed up the name.
I forget who it is, but so KC's winning this game for 2 big reasons. Number 1, it's being played in Arrowhead, and it's going to be snowing and like -4 degrees.
That's not going to help them.
It does when you start pulling hamstrings in the cold. I don't care how
right, but you got to think about it. Pacheco is not very used to that either. He's a Southern kid.
Yeah, but he runs to the ground like it's angry.
And you're right, but he's going to hit that ground hard, angry, and it's going to leave his shoulder messed up.
Second reason why the Chiefs win this game, and they'll probably lose the next one.
Let's go.
The Dolphins have so many injuries, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I don't even know who they are without Bradley Chubb. They are without Jason Phillips. They're probably going to be without Van Ginkel, their linebacking core, who's already a backup to a backup linebacker. I think that the injuries at this point have piled up too much, where the Dolphins, even if they are able to score, the Chiefs are going to basically have their way with their offense against a just destroyed Dolphins defense.
And I would normally agree with you, but historically, Kansas City has been bad offensively.
Sure.
They've had this isn't a
this
shining
isn't
moment.
the high-powered offense for sure, but I think
No.
that even in this first round, I think that the Chiefs are capable and competent enough to defeat this Dolphins defense.
I can't wait to come talk to you about this next week because I've got a feeling that I'm going to be.
So far, we're totally different. All right. You know what's coming up next? The 1:00 Sunday game, Steelers versus the Bills.
Where's this game at?
That would be in Buffalo.
Oh, Buffalo.
Yeah. The Bills are going to.
We don't deserve to be there.
Yeah, we don't got to spend time on that. The Bills are going to win.
No, we don't deserve to be there.
Okay, classic.
We're there, so we don't get fined.
Yeah, classic matchup. 90s matchup. Packers go to Dallas.
Because it's the playoffs. Because it's the playoffs, I'm gonna take the Pack. Go Pack!
I mean, go Pack, go for sure.
Go Pack, man.
Dallas.
And is it in Dallas?
Yes. Dallas is
go
the
Pack.
2 seed.
Oh, go Pack.
My opinion, Evan, on the Eagles game, and what do you think we could have done better? Skipped it. They could have skipped the game because they certainly didn't show up.
Oh, they showed up. They get hurt.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the Eagles game coming up, but against the Giants, it was bad. Obviously, it's go Pack, go for me, but I do think that Dallas wins this game. That Dallas offense is it's ridiculous. Now, maybe Dak will do Dak-like things. Maybe McCarthy will do McCarthy-like things. But if you don't think Mike McCarthy is going to go try and put up a 45 spot on his former team, you're out of your mind.
I think he will, but I don't think it'll work. I think it's the playoffs.
I think the NFL script this year is too good.
I think it's the playoffs.
Playoffs.
I think that the Cowboys have a complete meltdown.
I would love that more than you know.
I think everybody would. I think there's nobody in their right mind outside of Kenneth who wants the Cowboys to win.
Yeah.
And because of that, they're gonna feel that pressure that they feel all the time, which is really hate.
All right, 2 more games. Again, the NFL script writers outdid themselves this year.
They did a great job.
Matt Stafford takes his Rams
To the Lions.
back to Detroit. And the team that drafted him and traded him away for Jared Goff-led Lions.
I'm going Lions, baby.
I am too. And apparently a lot of people are not.
I'm going Detroit basketball.
I think that Detroit, when they have it all together, is a juggernaut of a team.
I like Brown. I like the receiver.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is very, very good. And I think that Detroit defense is
studdish.
Stud-like. And they got, C.J. Gardner-Johnson back. I mean, that's going to help them. Aiden Hutchinson has been unstoppable this year.
It's funny that you say it because he played in Michigan, right?
Hutchinson? Yeah, he played in Michigan.
Oh, yes. It's his time to shine.
Yeah.
Detroit is going. This is a big year for Michigan. Michigan is going to put the league on notice. Michigan is back for football.
Okay, but are they going to get clean water?
It doesn't matter at this point. They've been drinking bottled water for years now. That's only in Flint. Nobody lives in Flint no more.
So they should take their ass back over to 8 Mile?
Nah, man, because if you go to Flint, like it's not good. Like no disrespect to Flint. Like just leave. Like I mean, just
Eric's taking the Rams. I think that the first home game in Ford Field, the first home Lions football game in Ford Field,
it's going to be lit.
It's going to be stupid.
Like it's going to be people in there literally going to jail from tailgate. It's going to be nice. It's going to be the only one place in Detroit to be. So like first believe it's going to be on.
You drink too much beer, you go to jail. You show your buttocks, you go to jail. Right to jail.
Yeah. They're going to be like, yo, we're going to have a paddy wagon, we're going to have a bus. If you go to jail tonight, we're going to have a judge there to see.
We'll have a TV so you can watch the game, but you go to jail.
Yeah, you go to jail.
Final game, and it could have been the Peacock hidden secret game. Eagles go to Tampa Bay.
We got Javier checking in, you know what I'm saying?
Right, the Rams are going to pay for what happened to the Lions against Cowboys. Yeah, the Lions should have been that 2 seed.
Let's get it.
Yeah, the Rams are going to catch one. I actually think that Stafford might get knocked out of the game. We have to see Carson playoff wins.
We about to get. Hey, listen, he's done it before. He's done it before. If Carson Wentz get in the game, they win. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
All right, final one. Eric is saying Eagles. Eagles go to Tampa Bay. You have already said enough things, but go ahead, make your official prediction.
My official prediction is the Eagles squeak out a dub. They figure it out somehow, like they've been doing all season, just kind of figuring it out. It won't be pretty. It will not be pretty. It will be nothing. You will be sitting there drinking your beer like, oh, man, I'm going to turn this off because, there's no competition. But I think they'll squeak by, and that may be the end of their season after that. So
I have been pretty positive this whole year. I had the Eagles at, 13-3 on my original season prediction. And then the season happened, and not only did the wheels come off, I can't even put into words. It's a Fred Flintstone mobile at this point. They're just pushing it along by sheer manpower. I do think that Baker will find Mike Evans entirely too many times because we have nobody to stop him. And I think the Eagles lose down in Tampa Bay once again. I don't know how close it's going to be. I would like to be pleasantly wrong.
Damn you, Chip.
But at this point, I can't. I don't know what this Eagles team is. There has been an entire season, and I don't know what this team is. I cannot predict them.
You take that back.
I don't want to be wrong. I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong.
It's because they went back Kelly Green. Let's just go. Let's go check out this comment from Javier. He's got something.
Living down here in Florida, wondering if it's worth going to that game. No,
it is.
I mean, it's a playoff game. I mean, the Bucs are excited to be back. Playoffs. Every time the Eagles show up in Tampa, it's a good crowd. It's an exciting game. So have a great time. Send pictures, but just don't take any pictures of the scoreboard because I'm not going to like the final result.
You don't know, man. So negative.
I want to be wrong.
Eric B says Super Bowl.
We're not making Super Bowl predictions yet, even though it's going to be the
San Francisco 49ers.
San Francisco 49ers versus
and the Ravens.
And the Ravens.
Yep.
But we're not making these predictions yet. We're not making predictions yet.
Even though I just said it's going to be San Francisco and Baltimore.
But we're not making predictions yet.
But I mean, or Miami.
Real quick, who deserves the MVP this year?
Lamar Jackson.
Agreed. And he did it very sneakily. He did it very quietly, but he played in every game except when he was benched for, resting starter purposes. But he did it without his secret weapon of Mark Andrews, and he led them to the best record. I think Lamar Jackson should be the MVP. I doubt he will be. I'm sure they're going to give it to Tua. Even though that if you're going to give it to anybody on the Dolphins, it should be Tyreek Hill. If you're going to give it to anybody on San Francisco, it shouldn't be Brock Purdy. It should be Deebo Samuel or it should be Christian McCaffrey. I'm sorry. It should be Christian McCaffrey. I think this is the year that it should go to a non-quarterback, but in reality, it'll go to a quarterback and it should go to Lamar Jackson. And then Offensive Player of the Year is going to be a heck of a fight.
They really should give it to Lamar Jackson this year because they originally called him a running back, and so it's only poetic that they don't want to give it to a non-quarterback this year, so they give it to him.
I think that Lamar Jackson has earned it because he took and played the whole season. Where that's been one of his Achilles heels is that he keeps hurting his Achilles heel or his shoulder or his chest or his knee or his ankle or his face or his hair ties or whatever you want to say, but he doesn't play a whole season. This time he played a whole season.
It's like a beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, ham, chicken, ham.
All right. Hour 9 is not bad. Hour 9 is not bad. We broke the resolution. We had a cheat day. You know what I'm
saying? You ain't cheating. You ain't trying. So.
Oh, my God. Bill Belichick's famous quote.
Now Michigan's favorite quote.
Yeah, now Michigan's favorite quote. All right. We did it. Thank you for commenting, man. Javier, Eric, Evan, Nick checking in, man. Kenneth checking in. I mean, Mikey checking in. Yeah, great comments. We try and do this every Tuesday. We'll sneak it in here and there when we can. Go Birds.
Go
steal one.
Go steal curtain.
No, go steal one like a victory.
No, go terrible tower that thing.
Yeah, wipe yourselves off. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.